So picture this. The year is 2020. You're a teenager, it's the middle of COVID, and you're scrolling through TikTok when you suddenly come across one of these videos. The visuals, the music, the art style, it all looks so beautiful. So you go on your favorite anime streaming website, you click away all the pop-up ads and press play. And you witness what many consider to be a masterpiece. And in this video, I want to talk about why I believe that this movie is absolute peak cinema. Now I'll be breaking down this analysis into 3 different segments: the visuals, the music, and the experience. These 3 factors are, in my opinion, the biggest aspects which contribute to me and a lot of other people loving this movie so much. There should be timestamps, so feel free to skip to another segment if the current one is boring you. But anyway, let's talk about the visuals. So this movie was produced by Comics Wave Films. They are mainly known for producing feature-length animations like 5 cm per second, Weathering with You, Suzume, and well, Your Name. All movies that were beyond visually stunning. But what made it possible for Your Name to look as good as it did? Well, firstly, before I continue, I have to say that I'm no animation expert. I'm simply talking on what I know and what I've researched, so don't take anything I say as words coming from a genius. So anyway, Makoto Shinkai, the director of Your Name, was before this film mainly a one-man army when it came to his movies. As in, he took on a lot of aspects that matter when it comes to making an animated feature. But when production began for Your Name, he had a much bigger and very talented staff to work with. This is mainly due to Studio Ghibli, the studio that created Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle, halting production in 2014, leading to most of their staff going over to work on Your Name. This led to Your Name basically excelling in every major department of animation, those being compositing, effects, and character animation. And having all of these aspects basically led to every single shot of this movie being wallpaper worthy. Like, I could literally skim to a random part of this movie and say, yep, new wallpaper. That's how good this movie looks. One scene that still strikes me today as especially stunning was the vision scene in the cave. The art style was so unique and mesmerizing, and it captured me unlike any other animated scene I'd ever seen before, besides maybe the leap of faith scene from Into the Spider-Verse. The visuals in general just bring such a vibe unlike any other movie I know, and that includes the Shinkai projects that followed Your Name. But to be honest, none of these visuals would have even hit as hard without the soundtrack. The Your Name album by Radwimps is just simply perfection. Like, I have genuinely never heard a movie soundtrack strike me as much as this one did, and I always find myself coming back to this album. The Your Name album itself is my 7th most listened to album of all time, and there are genuinely so many amazing tracks on this album that are not only great to listen to, but also elevate the movie to an entirely new level of quality. Hell, I'd say at least 30% of what makes this movie so great is the music. Like, literally the first song played in the movie, Dream Lantern, perfectly represents the vibe and energy that this film has to offer. Just listen. My ears were sent to heaven the first time I heard that intro. And to be honest, I can say that for almost every other song on the album. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Zen 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 is easily the most energetic and replayable song of the entire Your Name album. Like, this song makes me want to go on a road trip, play this song on repeat the entire time and hope it never ends. 10 out of 10, perfect song. Sparkle is probably the best song I've ever heard. I think by now I have that opening piano ingrained into my head. Like, it is so catchy, and whenever you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, that's Sparkle. Sparkle is also by far my most replayed song of the album, so I also have a special connection with it. 10 out of 10 song, best song of all time, love it.
二人の間通り過ぎた風はどこから寂しさを運んできたの
Just how Dream Lantern is the perfect introduction to the film, Nande Monaya is the perfect conclusion. That a cappella to start the song, followed by the instrumental, is just simply euphoric. The ending to this film wouldn't hit as hard without this song. Not only does this song make the film feel complete, it also makes me feel complete. 10 out of 10, perfect song. In general, no other movie soundtrack has ever managed to bring as much emotion out of me as this one has. And as much as I would love to keep glazing the soundtrack, which I could definitely still do, the video's getting kind of long, and I think we should get to the most important part.
Oh my god. I get it.
Now let's take it back to the beginning of the video with that one edit I showed you, because that's pretty much how it began for me. You know, before watching the actual movie, I had seen clips of it every now and then, and it looked good, but I was too lazy to actually figure out what the movie was called. Then one day, I saw another one of those edits, scrolled through the comments, cause why not, and then there was that one pinned comment by the creator saying movie name, your name. And you know, it was Saturday, 11 PM, my parents were sleeping, so I thought, why not? So I sat there in the dark, a glass of water to accompany me, as I watched this masterpiece of a movie for the first time. And what did I think of it? Yeah, it was cool. To be honest, I didn't quite understand half of what happened in the movie the first time around. I mean, yeah, the visuals were stunning and some of the moments had me thinking, aw, that's cute. But I didn't think of it as highly as I do now. Then I watched it a second time, but that time with my mom, and I got to understand the movie better, but not fully yet. Then I watched it again at some other point because I heard it was connected to Weathering with You. Little did I know it was only connected for like 2 scenes. Following this, I watched it with one of my best friends from high school, and he said it was the best anime movie that he had ever seen. That's how peak it is. And then lastly, I watched it the night before I moved from my original home, which was probably the most emotional I had ever gotten watching a movie. And I believe that that exact rewatch is why at this point I love this movie so much. Like now, any time where I'm feeling down or sad, I just put on Your Name and I'll probably be even sadder by the end. But it's that good kind of sad, you know? That kind of sad that makes you feel complete. Now I could keep on rambling about how much I love this movie, but I think you guys get the point. Your Name is my personal favorite anime movie of all time, so I thought making my first YouTube video on it wouldn't be such a bad idea. If you have the time, I'd really appreciate you leaving a comment on what you thought of the video, and any improvement advice is also greatly appreciated. I have more videos planned in the future on other movies or TV shows that I really enjoy. So if you guys want more, then let me know. But anyway, until then, I wish you all a good night.
二人の間通り過ぎた風はどこから寂しさを運んできたの